Hello everyone. Welcome to today's Odoo's functional training session in OpenHRMS, the most advanced open source HR management software. Hope everyone can hear my voice clearly. If you find any difficulty, please let me know in chat, which can be found on your right side of the screen, or you can just raise your hands. So myself, Anis, Odoo functional consultant here at Cybersource Technologies. So we will be having a 2-day session. So day 1, we will be going through the recruitment management, employee management and leave management in OpenHRMS. And in day 2, we will be covering payroll management, loan and other major modules, which is in OpenHRMS. So the main agenda of this webinar is to provide training or to literate the OpenHRMS to the end users and other public with new feature which is available in OpenHRMS version 13. In this training, we will be focusing on the following modules initially: recruitment, employee management, complete payroll management, then custody management, then employee vacation management, then gratuity management, plus other some add-ons, localizations, etc. Before starting the session, let me give you a brief intro about our company, Cybersource Technologies. So Cybersource Technologies is one of the leading Odoo partner, having more than a decade of experience in Odoo. We have showcased many successful projects in Odoo, that too in all major business domains. Till date, we have served 160 plus countries and holds 1,200 plus satisfied customer by our side. With 4 office locations, Cybersource offer all kinds of Odoo services like implementation, customization, integration, migration, app or module development, training, documentations, etc. So our mission here is OpenHRMS is an open source HR management software that envision building an happier workforce. OpenHRMS take care of all of your HR process while the company take care of the employees. OpenHRMS can manage from onboarding, utterance management to time tracking and appraisal. OpenHRMS also covered all the HR aspects. OpenHRMS works well for both small and large size enterprise, where one can pick exactly what the business needs and leave behind the rest. This software is self-sufficient in managing and solving every major hurdles in the HR management path. We also provide OpenHRMS SaaS. You can check the pricing and other features here in openhrms.com. So you can check the live demo here, or if you require, you can just download the modules from here itself. You can find 4 packages right now, which is starting from 19.99 per month in dollar to 49.99 per month. So to know more features about these packages, you can find it here. So we have 4 packages, that is OpenHRMS base. The second one is OpenHRMS base plus project management, which will be costing 59.99 per month. The third package is OpenHRMS base plus payroll, which will be costing you around 79.99 per month. So this all packages you can use up to 50 users, that is internal users. So above 50 users, you can just host in your own server, that is in your dedicated server. So the last package is OpenHRMS base plus project management plus payroll, so which will be costing you around $99.99 per month. So if you require more clarification on this one, you can just contact us at odoo@cybersource.com or info@openhrms.com. So let's see what are the features available in OpenHRMS. So in OpenHRMS, we have an interactive dashboard where the admin can manage everything. Then centralized employee database. HR administration, easy and painless payroll, then transparent appraisal strategies with increased employee engagement, and intuitive attendance management systems, reports that can help you to stay on the top. Employee benefit, like managing employee benefits such as their TA, DA, etc. Recruitment, you can track recruitment, everything in single window. Then branch transfer, then custody management, then disciplinary tracking, then full and final settlement or gratuity, then HR reminders, then task planner, manage legal actions, then localization such as GOSI for Saudi Arabia and gratuity management for UAE, then loan management, multi-company, advanced salary management, then employee checklist for entry process and exit process, resignation management, employee surveys, insurance management for the employees, then service request for the employees, then project management, vacation management, then HR announcements. So let's start with the recruitment module. So this is the menu view of the Open HRMS. So normally the apps covered here is recruitment, attendance, transfers, payroll, custody management, resignation management, then projects, then employees, leaves. So this is the dashboard. So you can find all the details here. So how many pay slips this particular employee has, that is this particular login. That is here the Michelle admin is the login user, admin user. So how many pay slip he has, then timesheet of that particular employee, then contracts, then broad factors, then check-in and check-out, then leave request, then how much leave request for today and how much leave request for this month. Then we have a leave allocation request, then total job applications, then monthly leave analysis dashboard is available. So here you can find all the department leaves and how many percentage is available for that particular month. Then monthly joining and resigning analysis, then iteration rates, then the notification like upcoming birthdays, upcoming events, then announcements, then the user leave analysis. So here you can find some basics details about that particular user, like date of birth, join date, and total how many years experience, then nationality and mobile number. So this all details are taken from the employee master. So let's start with the recruitment management. So every HR process is started from the recruitment. So normally here you can create a new job position from the create button. So you can add here a sales manager, so a new position. I just created a sales manager. So you can find all the details here. So if you want to enter the particular details, you can just select that edit button and you can find some details here where you can select the department. So which department this position belongs to. So normally I have selected sales, then job location. So which job location this position belongs to, then expected new employee, how many employees to be expected for this job position. So I'm just providing as a 5. Then employee who is responsible for this job position. So I'm just selecting Michelle admin. So the users who have access to the system, that is the internal users, will be listed down here. So you can select the internal users here. Then if you have any job description, you can just provide the job description here for your internal notes. So once this process is completed, you can use this stop recruit button and you can just stop this recruitment. And you can find the actions button, so you can delete an sales position if it is not entered any data. So normally if you have a started recruiting in this job position, then it is not possible to delete. If not, you can just delete it from here. Then you have some smart buttons here. So normally how many applications have been created here, you can just find it here, or if any applications come, you can just create it from here itself. So I'm creating a new application name, subject or applicant name. I'm just typing as John. Applicant name is also John. So normally this is just a subject. So for my understanding, I just typed here as a John. So if you have any subject, you can just enter it here. Then we have a applicant name, then email address of that applicant, then other details like phone numbers, mobiles, then as a qualification, that is bachelor's or a MS, something like that. If it is not available here, you can just directly create it from here. Then normally I have taken this from the job position, so that job position is filled here. If not, you can just select it from here. So this will be mapped to that particular job position. Then we have the department. So by default, the job position which is selected here and corresponding to that department will be selected here. Then we have a tags. So as you may normally know, tag is used for easy search and reporting purpose to get the details easily. Then the responsible person, so who is responsible for this job position, for this interview, you can just select the details. Then appreciation level, so how much is appreciated, that is good, very good, or excellent. Then we have a source column, so you can provide the source through which source this applicant have reached, so like a search engine or some social media or just website. Then we have a contract details such as expected salary, then proposed salary, so what we are proposing, you can just add it here. Then the availability, so normally in which day this candidate will be available. For example, I'm just providing here at 1st April. Then expected salary, so expected salary, the salary what the candidate is expected, and proposed salary is the salary what we have, the HR people or the company have offered. Then if any extra advantages, you can just add it here. It is a free text, so you can just add it here. Then we have an application summary. So normally you can enter all the feedbacks of the summary here in the summary column, like communication skill, good, technical skill, average, etc. So once you have saved this one, then you have an option to change the stages. So let's see in all applicant details. So this is the applications details. So all the applications will be viewed here. So normally the initial qualified people will be in the initial qualified stage. Then the first, if you have conducted the first interview, you can just drag and drop to first interview. If not the second, then the second interview, then the proposed contract, etc. So we can find the John here. So you can find the John here. So have 0 attachment. So the provided is I haven't provided any, that is a excellence or a good anything there. so it is blank here. Then we have a activity schedule window option here. So if you want to schedule any activity to your user or your colleagues, you can just directly add it from here, or you can just assign yourself an activity, for example such as like send an email or just call them. Summary. Call for first interview. First round interview. So due date is 13. So I'm just providing us at today's date. Then assign to. So I'm assigning to this user itself. So if any specific note, please note it here. Please inform the candidate to attend the first round. So I have just scheduled, you can use all the options which are available here. Then I have just scheduled this tag. So you can find the details here, and the same will be available here too. So today the applicant, you can find two. So normally that is the things. So if there is any document to be attached here, such as like is some experience certificate or anything, so you can just add it here. Certificate. Or you can just add resume. You can just take it and LinkedIn URL and paste it here, or you can just upload a file here. So you can find one attachment for this one. So I just attached a video here just for a demo purpose. So likewise we have an option here. So if it is an ready for next stage, you can just select the ready for next stage, or if it is an blocked one, you can just select the blocked. So this is just for understanding purpose for your colleagues or your employee, etc., or the HR persons. If you are not the HR person, the other person can just understand by this notification that this person is ready for the first interview. So once the first interview is completed, you can find the activities here. So you can find the details. So once it is completed, you can just mark it as done, and you can just, if they have appeared for the first round interview, you can just add it to the first interview. So once it is completed, you can just add the details like the interview. So if you need to schedule any other activity, you can just schedule other activity from this chatter itself. So you can find all the details here in the chatter. Then you can schedule a meeting from here. So normally it will be going to your calendar and it will be blocking your date. So once the interview is completed, if it is an selected or proposed contract, you can just change to that particular stages. So if it is contract sign, I'm just converting it to contract sign, or you can use this stages here, or you can directly go to this applicant and you can just drag and drop that particular details to any of these stages. So right now this employees have been, that is the John have been, contract has been signed, move to the contract signed stage. So you can find the John here. So once this recruitment process is completed, you can create this applicant as an employee. So normally all the interview process and everything is completed, you can just create an employee directly from here. So before creating an employee, let's see what are the other options available in the applications. So you can find the stage views here, that is you can find the pivot views, list views, all the views are available here. So this is the list view. So in list view you can find all the details here. Then we have a pivot view. So normally you can generate most of the recruitment or applications details here, so as per your requirement. So based on proposed salary, you need the client details or the applicant details, you can just select. So you can find all the details here. So proposed salary, just an expected salary. So you can find all the details such as, so you can just take this report and compare. So expected salary and proposed salary. So who is matching for your particular job or for that particular position. Then we have a graph view. Then we have a calendar view. So in calendar view, you can find all the job application which you have received on a particular date. Then we have an activity view. So activity, what are the activity have been assigned, that can be found here. Then we have a filters here. So by default in Odoo, you can find all the filters here. So if anything custom filters is required, you can just add custom filter here. And if you required only the application which belongs to you, so you can find all the application by clicking on the my application. If you want any unassigned application details, you can just use the unassigned. Then if it is ready for, you want to just filter the ready for the next stage, so next interview to be scheduled like that, you can just use the ready for next stage. So it will be listing all the applications. So this is based on the options available here, that is in progress or ready for next stage. Then you have a unread message, then archived one. So you can find all the archived one here. So normally you have an option to archive any applications here. So you can find the archive options here. So if you have don't want to see this particular applicant here, so you can just use the archive option. Then we have a group by option. So you can find all the options here. So group by jobs, so based on the job position it will be grouping. So you can find all the total counts here. So consultants, so total I have 1 applicants. Then for experienced developer, total we have 4 applicants. Then we if you want to know the stages of that is the first interview, attend the second interview, or the any other stages based on your requirement, you can just customize the stages here. So you can find the, so consultant we have a total 1, so that is in right now in first interview. So the first interview is completed or it is ongoing. Then we have experienced developers, so total initially qualified applicants or the candidates are 3. Then the first interview selected for the first interview is 1. Then for the contract proposed is 1. Then contract signed is 1. And likewise you can just group by based on the created date or last updated date, or record, you can just use the add custom groups. So what are the options you have provided, that is the what are the data you have provided, based on that one you can just group by, or you can use the filter option here. Then we have favorites option. So this is the majorly taken view, or this is frequently required by you. You can just add this search to the as save current search, and this can be shared with the all other users, that is the ERP login, who have the recruitment module access, and you can use this by default too. So whenever you click on this application, this filter is applied if you select this as used by default. And if you want to download this view, for example, if you want to download this, export this to an Excel, you can just select the all or required details here, and you can just click on this download button, that is export all option. So normally this will be exporting all the details which is shown here. Likewise, we can also find based on the job applications here. So total for sales manager, total how many applicants have been applied, or the candidates, how many candidates have been applied for this position. So you can find the details here. Then you can find all the created, that is new applicant, who is a new applicant here, and the total how many in demand for the company. That so whenever while creating the job position, I have provided as 5, so normally it shows 5 to recruit. And if you want to change any colors of this one, you can just select this and you can change the color here. So for easy understanding, you can find this one. Then we have an option here to filter based on the responsible person. So you can find which HR person or which user is responsible to handle this application. So we can find all the pending and other details based on this one. If it is not assigned to anyone, it will not be showing in this name. So in that case, we have to select all. Then we have a reporting. So reporting, we have a recruitment analysis. So we have a graph view of this one, and we can find a pivot view. So by default, it will be filtering based on the creation date, so which is this month, and then the jobs. So normal, the jobs is the consultant, experience developer, human resource management, marketing community manager, trainee, and sales manager. So you can find the counts here. So if you want to change this counts to any other things like proposed salary, you can select the proposed salary in the measures. And if you want to change the x-axis and y-axis, and you can use the options available here. Or if you want to expand, for example, I'm just selecting the applicant name here. So I just want to know the applicant name who applied for this one. So I have selected for for this job application, and the applied person is, that is the candidate name is David Billy. So I just want to expand for all this one. So I can use this expand option available here. So it will be expanding all the Then if you want to download this one, you can just use the download button here. So normally this will be downloading to XLS format. Then we have a time range option, which is not available in other pivot view. So normally it is available in reporting view, reporting. So you can, based on the time range, you can just search the details. For example, you need the last created or closed or assigned anything, you can just select the particular range here. So by default, you will be having last 7 days. So it will be showing all last 7 days. So whenever you log in here, and it will be showing you the last 7 days. Likewise, last 30 days, that is 1 month. Then last 1 year, that is last 365 years. Then last 5 years. Then we have a today, this week, this month, this quarter, this year. And likewise, we have favorites. So in favorites, you can just save the current search to this favorites. Then under configuration, you have job positions. So you can find all the job positions here. So you can find all the details like how many of them are available, then how many have to recruit, and current how many applicants are available. Everything you can just find it here. Then we have a department, so you can create a department from here. So you can provide a department name and the department manager. So then we have a parental department. So if you want to give a child parent relation for the department, you can just provide here. So for example, I'm just creating an administration department, so it comes under, or I will provide an operations, so it comes under the administration department. So this operation is by default, it will be coming under the parent department as administration. Then we have an activity type, so you can create the activities here. So normally you can create a new activity, so I can show you an existing activity. Then that action to perform, so normally it should be a meeting. So normally if it is a meeting, it will be redirecting you to the calendar, so you can assign a calendar there, that is, you can block the date. If it is required to upload a document, you can use the upload document option, or nothing is required, you can just provide it as none. Then default user for this activity, so who will be the default user? So normally whenever you assign an activity, this default user will be used. So normally this activity will be assigned to this particular user. Then we have a summary, so you can provide your summary here. So whenever you click on this activity, the summary is set by default, and if required, you can change it there. Then the scheduled day, so normally when it should be scheduled, so you can just provide it based on the days, week or month. Then we have a after previous deadline, and well, after validation date of the previous one. Then if you require to schedule a next activity after this one, you can just tick this option, and the default next activity for this activity. So whenever you completed email activity, then the next activity will be a call or something like that. So whatever your default next activity is selected here, it will be the next it will be suggested as the next activity. Then we have a recommended next activity. So normally if you can select multiple recommended activities here. So whenever you complete this particular email activity, it will be showing an suggestion for you to the next activity. So you can just click on that activity and you can schedule that one. Then you have a default description, so you can provide the description details here. So when you go into the developer module, you can find some details here like stages. So stages is nothing but the stages which you find in the application, that is whenever you entering a candidate. So this is what we call stages in the recruitment module. So you can rename the existing stages, or you can just create a new stage. So you can find the stages here. So just I have taken the contract signed stages, so the sequence number. So this is available, this option is only available in the developer mode. So if you want to create a new stages in the application option, then you have to go to the settings and activate the developer mode. So then when you come back and go to the configuration, you can find the stages menu here. So once you go there, you can just create your stages, and you can just give a stage name. So by default it is a contract signed, already created stage, this one. Then we have a sequence, so based on the sequence it will be listing out here. So you can find the, so this will be normally a first sequence, so it will be the first one in the list, then the second, likewise you can just create it here. Then we have an option to template, like for an email template. So if you have existing email template, you can just select it from here, or you can just create it from here. Then it should be folded in Kanban view or not. So if you tick this option, it will be folded in the Kanban view. Then we have a job specific. So normally if you select this job specific, this stages will be viewable only for this particular job position. Then we have a option here for displaying the details, such as what this option is for. So if it is red, it is blocked. If it is green, it is ready for next stage. So likewise, you can just add it here. Then we have a recruitment tab here. This is a free text. You can just enter, that is what are the initial qualification for this stages. For example, so this will notify the person who is handling this application that this from first interview to second interview, it need minimum this details. For example, the first round should be passed, the technical skill should be good, etc. Like that, you can just provide the basic details here so they can understand easily. Then we have an option to create tags here. So you can create a tag from here. So you can provide the tag name, and you can provide the color index. So basically we have 10 different colors in Odoo. So based on that, you can just select it here. Then we have a degrees. So normally what are the degrees? Well, that is the educational qualification. So if it is like a diploma or certification, anything else, you can just create it here. Certification in Odoo. So I have created a certification in Odoo. So you can also just configure this based on your requirements. So if you require this bachelor degree should be first, then you can just drag it here. So based on that, it will be showing in the application. For example, I can show you that one. All applications, just select it new. Just in degree, you can find here the graduate has been the first, bachelor degree second, master degree. So based on this one, based on the degrees which we have sorted here, it will be showing there. Then we have a job position which we have already discussed. Then we have a source of applicant. So normally all the sources it will be listing out here. So this is mainly used for in the case of like the job application is directly from the website. So if you are using the website module, this will be useful. Then we have a departments and activity which we have already discussed. So let's see how to create an employee from the candidate. That is the, so let's take the John. So it is in contract sign stage. So I'm just selecting the employee here. So you can just create an employee directly from here. So I can just creating an employee from this module. So it will be asking a confirmation. So now I have created an employee. So it is not right now, it is not saved. So you can find all the details which we have provided in the application. It will be fetched here. So I'm just saving it here. So John is just, I have created a new employee. I haven't provided any basic details here. So we'll go to the employee module and we'll see. So this is the employee module. So you can find all the existing employees or the created employees here. So you can find the details here, that is the red, and if he is present, it will be in the green. So normally I have just login as admin. So you can find the Michelle admin as green here. So you can, that is this particular employee is present. So the presence is taken based on the logins. So if it is login, it will be showing as a present. Then you can find an option here. So basically this contract is expired, or there is some issue with this contract. Then we have a department filters here, so you can just easily filter the departments based on your requirement. So you can just select the detail. So you can find administration. So under administration, I have created an operation earlier, so you can find that here. So it will be showing all the, including the operations, all the employees who are available in the administration and the operations here. And if you want to particularly view only the operation, you can just use the operations here. And you can just create it from here, a new employee. So we will see the already created employee, that is we have created an employee from the job position, that is a job application. So we can see that one here. So by default we have some views here too. So in Odoo it is most of the window we can find this Kanban view and list view. So this is the Kanban view, and we have the default filters here, and the favorite is here. Then we have a list view here. So list view, you can just find it here, all the details here. So if required you want to download this one, you can just download it from here. You have also option to view or hide some menus here, I mean some fields here. So if you record only the name or some basic details, you can just use this one. So I have just provided some basic details here. So I just want to download this all details. So you can just use this one, export option here. Then we have an activity view. So normally all the activities which you have, you can just add it here. So let's search for the John, the employee which we have created. So by default you can find some all the details here, like search based on for employee, or the tags, or the job position, or the skills or resumes. So by default it will be searching first, giving preference to this employee. So whenever you type something text here, it will be searching the employee. This name is available in the employee. So I just want to search the John here, so I just enter. So you can find the details here. So this employee I have created from the application, job application. So I'm just editing the basic details for this employee. So the first thing is, already I have selected the employee name here. By default the applicant name which we have provided in the application will be fetched here. Then the job position, so sales manager is a job position. Then if you want some tags, you can just add it here. So you can find all the existing tags here, or if not, you can just create a new tags from here. Manager, I just created manager sales. Then you can find a notification here, entry progress and exit progress. So we'll be discussing this later once we completed this one. Then we have a work mobile number, then work phone, then email address, then work location. Then we have the department. So by default the departments which we have provided in the job application will be taken here, or if it is required to change, you can just change it from here. Then we have the job position. Then we have the manager. So manager who is responsible for this John. So I'm just providing here as an my Michelle admin. So this is not a mandatory field. So normally like appraisals and everything will be assigned to this particular manager. So if you haven't provided these details, it is not possible to assign some activities for this particular employee. Then we have some extra details here, like resume. So you can add his experience details here. So you can just add, so as a sales coordinator, so normally, so this is what the experience or educational certificate, so based on that it will be categorizing here. So I'm just selecting it as an experience. So sales coordinator is an experienced sales coordinator, so I just provided here the details. Then the start date, let me check these details. Then the end date, so I'm just providing as last year December 31st at the end date. So I'm just providing, you can just provide the company name or the post which he have worked here. So based on that it will be showing here. So it is your, based on your opinion or your suggestion, you can just add it based on your requirement. You can find here the sales coordinator. So if you required it to be changed as an sales coordinator's description, you can just add it as a description and you can enter the company name here. So ABC Corp or ABC Group. So now you can find the company name and the description here. So it is based on your preference how you want to select it here. Then I'm just adding the educational qualification here or the educations here. So master degree, or just I am mentioning as master in business administration. So this is an educational certificate, that's why I have created. So if you required, you can just add a new options here. So we'll see that one also. I'm just adding 2011, 2010 Jan 7 to 2011 Jan 26. So you can find the educational details here. Likewise, I am just adding some other certifications. I'm just creating a type as new certification. Sequence, I'm just providing as some other sequence. So this sequence, based on that, it will be showing here, listing out here. So normally if you want to come as a third, you can just provide experiencer first, then the sequence for education 2, then this for this one 2, 3. So you can find the details here. So based on that, you can just add it here. Likewise, you can also add the skills, the right side, which you can find it here in the skills. So you can create a new entry, then the skill type, so languages, then skill like what all the skills available. So I just added a French here. So skill level based on the things. So you can find, so I am just adding one more languages. Spanish, skill level is C2, save and close. Then I am adding some other skills like devs, Python expert. Likewise, you can just add it skills here too. So this will allow the HR person to understand these details in just a single view. So if you want to promote this to some other position, you can just by viewing this details, you can just get an overall person's details from here. Then we have work information tab. So normally the work location will be provided here. So normally this employee is working under the company which right now I have selected. So this is your company. Then we have a responsible person. So normally who is responsible for this? So normally this will be selected the manager which we have provided for this employee. So if required, you can just change it from here. So all this user should be an internal user. So this normally the coach. Then we have a time off. So normally the person who is going to manage this person's attendance. Then the expenses. So normally we will be handling the expenses. Then we have a work schedule, that is working hours. So hours working schedules will be. So you can just create a new schedules from here. So you can find the details here. So under this working hours, you can find all the details such as from Monday morning time, that is the first half, how from which time to which time this work schedule will be, and if you can also provide the start and end date. So based on this, the attendance will be marked. Then we have an option to provide the global time off. So if there is any global time off, you can just add it from here. Then we have an option like average hour per day. So normally how many hours he will be working. So this will be fetched based on the details you are providing here. So for example, I'm just deleting the Friday afternoon session. So you can find the total per average per day is 7 hours 20 minutes. Then the time zone. So based on which time zone will be this details. Then we have options here to see the time of person of this particular shift or this working hour schedule, or we can also find the details overall working under this schedule. For example, I can show you on that one. So you can find this, all the employees are working under this schedule. So it is very easy to change a schedule and you can find all the details from there. Then we have a time zone. So normally organization chart will be shown here. So right now there is no details. So we will show you in another employee details. So the organization chart here. So let me add here my shell admin. So you can find the So now you can find the organization chart. So right now the current employee is the John. So the current login is the Michelle admin. So you can, if you have access to that particular employee, that is all employee details, then you can just, by clicking on that, you can just go to that employee master. Then we have a private information. So under private information, you can select the address of that particular employee. Then we have a bank account, then kilometers from home, then identification number if any, then passport ID, then the nationality of this particular employee, then gender, date of birth, place of birth, countries, then is marital status. So normally if it is single, you will not be having. So if it is unmarried, then you will be having option to enter the spouse complete name. So I'm just adding spouse complete name as Mrs. John. Then you have the number of dependent children's, then the emergency contact number, work permit, then the educational certificate, then field of studies, schools, etc. Then we have a dependency details. So you can add the dependents here. So I'm just Samuel, relation as son. So I don't have son here, just I'm creating one. So I have created, then the contact number, date of birth, etc. Likewise, you can create all the dependents here. So basically you will be having option to enter the spouse name here. So if required, you can just add the same to here too. Then we have a HR settings. So normally under HR settings, you can set the related user here. So normally if you select the particular user, or you can just create a user from here itself. So if you don't have any access, that is login details to this, so normally you just want to create an employee here but is not having access to your system, then you can just leave this column as blank. Then we have a pin code like for attendance, then the badge ID. So normally this is used in the biometric devices. So based on this, the system will be taking the attendance or the log entries. So it is right now we have some inbuilt module for this biometric devices. You can find that in apps, app store. Then we have a option to enter the timesheet. So total timesheet cost for this employee per hour. So if required, you can just enter. If not, you can just leave it. Then we have a insurance details. So how many the company will be paying for this employee. So normally if you can provide based on the percentage, you can just select the details from here, add the employee details here, so monthly or yearly. So if it is yearly, it will be from that particular date, it will be calculating. Then the policy, you can just create the policy here, policy, just creating the number here. If anything, you can just add it here, details such as the policy, that is the IDV or something like that, dependence details, etc. So the total sum insured is how much, you can just provide the premium of that one. Once you provide it, you can just find the details. So once you click on the save, then it will be showing the how much the employee should be deducted for this insurance. You can find the details here, that is the 50% is applied by the company. So 10,000 is the 1,000 is the premium, so 500 has to be deducted from the employee salary. So this will be computed in the payroll. So based on the monthly, it will be deducting in the monthly salary. Then we have a checklist. So normally the checklist is used for the entry process and exit process. So you can just add the multiple entry process and exit process from options available here. So we will be discussing this when we go to the advanced settings. So here I have just provided the all the basic details of the employee, and you can just add the employee photo here if required. So I have add all the basic details. So here you can find some smart buttons here, so where you can find all the details. So once you have created, the next thing is to create a contract. So normally this contract is used to create all the payroll process. Everything will be based on this employee contract. So normally all this salary details will be provided in the contract. So let's see how to create a contract for this particular employee. So creating a contract, you need to go to this contract. You can go directly go to contract under the employee, or you can just select it from here. So I have just creating a new contract. So you can provide a contract for contract name. So it will be easy if the employee code or the name of that employee, or the combination of the employee code and employee name. So it will be easy to understand when you go to the contract module, contract menu. Then by default I have selected from the employee, that is employee name John. So by default it will be filling the employee name and department here. Then the next is the salary structure. So you can create multiple salary structure and you can assign each employee a particular or a unique salary structure which you have already created. So we will be discussing this in the payroll session. So I'm just adding the base for new structure. So I have selected, and if you want to find what all the available, that is the under this structure, what all the advantages or structure available for this one, you can just click on this one. So you can find all the rules here. So here you can find the basic salary, gross, insurance amount, net salary. So if required to add anything else, you can just create select all the options which you require and you can just add it here. So I'm just, for a demo purpose, I have added all the details here, that is all the salary rules here. I'm just saving that one. Then we have an contract terms. So in contract details you can find the start date. So normally the start date will be the contract creation date. So the contract creation date is taken as the start date. So if required you want to change that one, you can just change the contract date. Then the end date. So end date here is not mandatory, but you have to keep in mind that if you provided an end date, then this contract will be expired on that particular day. So if an contract is expired, then it is not possible to create an payroll for this particular employee. So if your company is managing a contract for the yearly or twice in a year or something like that, so it is advisable to provide the end date. If not, it is not required. So then we have an end of trial period. So if this employee is in a probation period or something like that, so when is the probation period will end? So you can use this column to understand the details. For example, I am just providing a probation details here, like May 1st. Then the notice period. So the notice period is nothing but the day. So employee notice period for resignation, how many days it should be. For I'm just providing it here as 60. Then we have a work schedule. So normally the schedule which we have already added in the employee, it will be adding to the here. Then their monthly, that is salary, how the salary process should be, that is monthly or quarterly or semi-annually, etc. Then the HR person responsible for this one, this employee. So I'm just providing Michelle admin. So actually Michelle admin is the only person who have the access to the system. So just I'm providing the Michelle admin. And if you want to provide any extra notes, you can just add it here. So the next tab is the salary information tab. So here you can provide all the details like basic salary. So you can find all the basic salary. Just I'm providing here as 10,000 as the basics. So there are some companies who is based on the calculation like percentage. So based on basic salary, maybe 10%, 50% of the total salary. So you can just manage this all things in the payroll using these salary rules. So we will be looking into this detailedly in while we look into the payroll module. So I'm just providing is a basic wages here. Then if you want to provide any extra HRA or something like that, you can just add it here. So HRA, DA, travel allowance. So I'm just providing all the details here for demo purpose. I'm just providing the travel allowance. Medical allowance. Another allowance. This is not required to fill all the fields. So if your company does have this rules, that is the head, then you can just select. If not, you can just leave it empty. So here I have just created a contract. So the next thing is, I'm just noting it as green, so it is easy for me to understand this contract is. working, that is ready. So I have just created this as a new contract. So here in the new contract, you should note that so the running contract only be taken into the consideration while creating an payroll. So it is required that to create a payroll for an employee, that you should have an running contract. If not, this salary will not be generated. So system cannot generate. So based on if this is in running state, it will be generating the payroll. If not, it will not be generating. So I have created the contract for this employee. So the next process, I'm just going to provide him some time offs. So normally every employees will be having this details, so how many time offs he have and everything. So this can be managed from the leave or the time off module. So normally it will be showing you all the details here, like such as so how many numbers of leave taken by this employee and everything will be shown here. Then the announcements, so normally all the announcements will be shown here. Then the documents, so if you required any document to be uploaded for this particular employee, like passport copy or contract copy or anything else, so you can just add it from here. So you can provide the document number. Then checklist, so it is an education certificate or something like that. Then we can just, by default it will be adding selected, the employee name is selected here as we are coming from the employee module. Then we have a document type, so what type of document it is. So I'm just providing an driving license of John. So I'm just attaching an then expiry date, then notification. So how the notification to be, so based if it is a it's near to the expiry date, it will be providing you the notification. We have 4 options here: notification on expiry date, notification before few days. So if you select before few days, you can just provide the days here. Then we have a every day till expiry date, so till expiry date it will be showing. Then notification on and after expiry date. So based on this days is, so how many days before you need the notification, so you can just provide 20 days or something like that. Then the description, if any. Now you can find the employee document. So one document is available for this particular employee. Then the payslip will be shown here, so you can find all the payslips here. Then we have the timesheet. Then the loans, what are the loans he have taken. So we will be discussing about this one in the loan module. Then we have legal actions, then custody. So what are the available things with this employee, that is the company assets like laptops, then any other thing like ID card or anything, you can just find it here. Then we have equipments, then attendance of the employees will be listed here. Then last month, total hours he have worked last month. So these are the basic details which we have in the employee. So then we can print the employee badge from here. So you can print the employee badges here. So you can find the details. So this is just a template. So if required, you can just change the template in the coding. So the next process, once we have created the employee, the next is the entry process. So normally we do have the launch plan here, so you can select the launch plan. So if it is an entry process, we have to select the onboarding. If it is an exit process, we have to select the offboarding. So I'm just selecting the onboarding and I'm just launching the plan. So you can find the details under that activity. You can also find in the reminder here, that is for to do So if you go to that particular, you can find the employee details here. That is today I have activity to do. So let's see what is the activity. So you can find checklist. So what are the checklist I have to do? So that is the entry process. So I'm just providing an edit here. So you can find the, that is collect educational certificate. So if it is done, you can just select it here. Then salary certificate, that is previous year salary certificate. You can select it, yes. Then experience certificate, I haven't collected right now, so I'm just leaving that blank. So you can find mark as completed, not completed, that is save. I have just saved. So you can find the entry progress, that is 67% have been completed. So that is I have completed the 67% of the entry progress. So because I haven't completed one checklist, that's why that is launch plan. That's why it is showing the not completed, not 100%. So you can find the details here under the checklist. So the things which I have done is the experience certificate I haven't completed. So later when I completed this task, you can just go to edit. You can select this one directly from here. If not, you can go to the activity and edit. You can just select that and mark as done. So the activity has been done. So once you refresh this page, you can find the details. So now you can find the entry progress as 100%. Then we have a contracts. So you can find all the contracts here. So we have already discussed this one. So here we have an option for the Kanban view and the list view, and we also have a activity view. So normally the activities which we have scheduled, that is scheduled for this particular user, or if it is an admin, it will be showing all the activities and the status of that activities. Then we have a document option. So document option, you can find all the employees document based on here. So if you can find all the employees document under their each employee tab. For example, under employee, you can find the employee documents here too. If not, you want to search a particular from group of employees, so you can directly go to this document menu and you can find the documents. So you can also group based on the employee or the any other details or days, expiry dates, etc., based on that one. Then we have an employee directory. So normally employee directly, you will be viewing all the employee and all the details of the particular employees. So here in this menu, it is not possible to edit anything. So it is just for a view purpose. So if you require to archive any employee, so normally at the time of resignation and everything in Odoo, normally what we do is we will be archiving this particular employee. So it will not be deleting the employee, but it will be archived. Then under, if you go to the employee menu, you can find some important filters, that is resigned employees. So normally resigned employees will be listed here. Then the newly hired one, so normally last 30 days, so last 90 days, sorry. So last 90 days, whoever that is created a new employee, that all the list of created employees last 90 days will be showing under this newly hired menu. Then we have an absent today. So the absence who have marked absent today will be listing out in this absent today. Then unread messages, then contract waiting, then archived one, then the custom filter as we found in all other modules or menus. Then we have an document template. So you can create some document templates here. So it is an easy, for example, experience certificate or any other loan application or something like that. So I'm just providing a loan application here. So you can attach so you can find the document templates here. So it is very easy. Whenever if you record any template which is available in PDF or anything, you can just attach it here and you can just directly view that template from here. So it is easy to download that template. So if you want to delete, you can just delete it from here itself. Then we have a legal actions. So you can create a legal actions if there is anything legal actions is taken against an employee. You can create a new legal actions against an employee. So you can provide the reference number. So then we can add the party. So first party will be the first party. So the second one is like employee, or so normally if it is an employee, it will be listing out all the employees. If it is a partner, it will be listing out all the partners. Then we can just select the employee. Then the court name. So normally in which court it will be discussed. Then the lawyer details. So normally lawyer details will be like fetching from the contacts. So you can just select an particular contacts. Then we can provide the case details, then the date, so when it is filed, then the hearing date, so when will be the next hearing date for this. Then we have an insurance. So normally all the insurance which we have created under the employees will be listed here. So we can view multiple insurance policies here, so which we have created and under the employee. So based on the employee name, it will be showing. We can also group the based on the employee name or department, etc. So here also you can just create a new insurance for the employee. So you can select the employee from here. So detection policy coverage based on yearly or monthly. Then the policy number. So you can just create the policy number. So if it is a group policy, you can select the existing one itself. So sum assured, then the premium. So how much the premium should be, and if it is expired, it will be in the expired. Then we have a loan and advances. So under loan and advances, we have a request. For each employee, we can request an loan. So for that, click on the create button. Then we can select the employee, Michelle admin. Then the department of that employee will be selected here. Loan amount. So how much the loan should be, loan amount required. I'm just providing as 20,000. Then how much installment it should be, like I'm just providing as 4. So by default, the created date will be taken in the date. Then the job position will be fetched from the employee. Then the payment start date, from which date it should be started. So if I want to include this in this payroll, in this month payroll, I can just select it here. If not, I want to be computed in next month, I can just select the next month as the payment start date. So right now I'm just selecting today's date. So that is this month. So I have just added. So the next process is to compute installments. So installment has been computed. So you can find the details here. Payment date, when it should be, first installment should be collected. That is, you can find all the details here. Then I'm just saving this one and just submitting. So once it is submitted, then the next thing is it should be approved or refused. So normally if an employee is submitting for a loan, then the HR manager can approve the same. So I haven't added the accounting journals here, that's why. So we'll be in settings we will be adding it, and we will be checking on this one. Then we have a request for advance salary. So normally employee can just create an advance salary from here. So you can just select the employee, then the reason for advance salary if again, then we have a credit account and debit account, from which account it should be credited and which account it should be debited, then the journal, through which journal it should be posted. So once you have saved that one, then you will be having an option to approve this process. So then we have an option to view the salary advance which have been approved. So you can find all the salary advances which has been approved. Then we have a salary advance to be approved for other employees too. Then we have settings. So under settings we can find the details, what are the OpenHRMS features, that is like skill management, then the employee presence control. So based on attendance or the users, that is the presence of the, that is a user login. Then the notice period. So advanced presence control, so based on number of emails sent. So normally this will be, if I'm selecting as 4 mails, 4, so normally in a day it should that is this particular employee should send from this OpenHRMS 4 emails. If not, it will be marked as an absent. Then we have an based on IP. So if you provide this based on IP, only login from this particular IP will be calculated as an attendance. Otherwise, it will not be calculated as attendance. Then we have a notice period. So this is the company overall notice period. So if you have provided 30 days here, so this 30 days will be considered for all employees. And if for particular employee you need to provide different notice period, then you have to change that in the particular employee. Then we have a company working hours. So you can just select the already existing, or you can just create a new work hours. Then we have a organizational chart. So if you provide this, all the employees, the organization chart will be viewed by the administrator. Then employee edition. So each employee can edit their details, such as basic their work details, then work address, etc. Then we have some advanced features like custody management, then employee checklist. So this checklist is used for the entry process and exit process. Then we have a manage employee insurance, to manage the employee insurance. Then lawsuit manager. Then resignation process. So if you select this resignation process, it will be handled by using the launch plan, that is onboarding and offboarding. Or you can also manage through the checklist tab available in the employee. And we have a biometric integration. So by default, OpenHRMS support 2 models, that is ZK Tech UFace 202 and some other modules which is available in the Odoo App Store. You can make use of that one. So I have created an employee here, and all the basic details, everything is provided here under the employee module. So let's see how to provide him some basic leaves details like sick leave, then casual leaves, etc. So for that you need to go to the leave management. So you can find all the leaves. This is the leave dashboards here. So you can find an calendar view here. So normally in calendar, so you will be having all the leaves and details, everything will be available here. Then we have a list view of that one. So total leaves taken by all the employees will be listed here. So this is the HR manager or leave manager. view. So normally Michelle admin is the administrator, so he have access to all the menus here. So you can find all the details. So then we have a activity view. So under activity, you can find all the pending activities to be done. So then we have a time of request. So here, this is the time of request of that particular employee. So this is, you can find from the name itself, it understand that my time off. So all the leaves which is particular for that login employee. Then allocation request. So normally allocation, what all the allocation request we have. Then we have a everyone. So normally for this is the everyone's dashboard. So all the employee who's available taken leave or time off, you can find their details here. Then we have a manager view. So for manager, they can find the time off, that is leave. So till 12 it is called leave. After that is from 13 it is called as time off. So you can find time off details here. So you can find all the approved time offs here. So if there is anything to be allocated, so you can find under this the allocations. Then you can find all time off and all allocations. So you can find that here. Then we have a payroll, time off to report. So normally the time off which should be reported, you can find it here. Then we have a reporting. So reporting, we have two types, that is by employee. So normally under this, you can find the graph view, calendar view, and pivot view. Then we have a time off by types. So normally the types which we have, so paid off, then sick time off, then compensatory day, unpaid. So based on this, you can just select. So how many days have been taken, assigned, then how many days have been taken, like a start date to end date, then status of that one, requested, then the description, everything can be viewed here. Then we have a configuration. So normally in configuration, you can find all the time off. So if required, for example, yeah, you can find all the leaves, basic details, there is paid time off, that is compensatory days, sick day time, then unpaid parental time off, etc. So if you want to create or edit anything, you can just create it from here itself. So for example, paid time off. So normally paid time, you can find the payroll code. So normally this code will be used in the payroll. So we'll be discussing more about this in the payroll. Then we have some options to validation. So if this required any validation by the team leader or officer, or leader and the officer both, anything, you can just manage it from here. Then we have an allocation. So it is allocated by HR, or it is a free allocation request, or you can select it as no allocation is required. Then the validity of this particular leave. So from which date to which date. So this is not mandatory. If you haven't provided this detail, it will be considered as non-expiry leaves. Then we have a notification, time of notifications and allocations here. Then the colors for in the reporting. So how it should be in the reporting side, which color it should be, this time off should be, or the leave should be shown. And then you can find a smart button here where you can find the total number of days taken this particular leave. So we'll see how to allocate an employee a particular leave and how to apply for a leave. So first, let's see how to apply for a leave. So I'm just selecting my time off. I'm just going to time off request. So you can find the details here. So click on the create button. So once you create a new click on the create, you can find the time off type. So under the time off type, you can find all the time off which is available for you. So you can find the paid time off, that is 20 remaining out of 20, that is 20 days have been allocated for this particular employee, in which 20 is not taken, that is you haven't taken any leaves, that is paid off type. Then we have a compensatory days. So normally 86.4 hours is the total hours provided for him, but he have taken 78.4. That is, 78.4 is remaining, others have been taken. Then we have sick time off, then unpaid. So I haven't allocated any, there is no allocation for this to time off, that's why it is showing empty. So if you have provided this one, it will be shown here. So I'm just providing paid time off. So from date, I'm just providing from date and to date. So normally it will be calculated based on that one. Then we can provide the description. So I'm just saving it. Then, so as I am the administrator, just I have the option to approve here. So I'm just approving the same and validate it. So again, when you create and leave, you can find that it have gone to 19 because one leave have already applied and taken. So let's see how to change this to for example, your paid time off or the leave will be based on the hours. So in that case, you can just go to the configuration, time off type, paid time off, edit. You can find here take time off in days, half days or hours. If it is half days, it will be showing based on the, that is first session and second session. Let's see that. So time of request, create new. So if it is a full day, you can just select the days here. So if it is an half day, you can just select the half day. So it will be asking it is in a morning session or afternoon session. If it is afternoon session, you can just select the afternoon session and approve it. So you can find the 50.50, that is half day have been taken. So I have just validated that one. So I have taken the half day leave. So let's see how the hourly will be. So for that, go to the time of type, select the particular time of, edit, select as hours. Go to the time of request, create new. You can find the 132 remaining out of 144. Now it has been converted days to hours. So if you select a single day, it will be calculating as a 1 day. You can find the 1 day. So that is equivalent to 8 hours. So if it is an half day, so I'm just providing as half day. So I'm just providing as, so you can find it as half day. If I don't want this to be in particular day, so I'm just providing at time. So I'm just providing an hourly basis, that is 9 o'clock to 11:30. So I'm just saving that one. So that is 2.5 hours has been detected. So when you go to this time of request, you can just find that one. You can find the details, 2.5 hours to approve. I will just provide approve, validate. Now you can find the all the approved. So one more is to be approved. I will approve that too. So by using openhrms, you can manage your leaves based on hourly or daily or session wise, that is first session or second session, etc. So based on your requirement, you can just create multiple leave types and provide to the same to the employee. So let's see how to assign some leave for an employee. So normally there will be an per month there will be one casual leaves, that is unpaid leaves for each employee. If your company's policy is like that, HR policy, or 1.5 or 2, so we'll see how to assign that for a particular employee. So allocation, so go to manager, or you can just select the manager allocations, create new allocations. Sorry, time off. You can select the descriptions. We will add a new time of type, so it will be easy. So just yearly permission or a new leave. Just providing as a days, then responsible Michael admin. Okay, just created new. So manager allocations, create. Allocate by HR only. Manager allocations, create. Then I have to provide the description. Allocation for new leave. Then we can select the, so right now it is 0. We haven't allocated any leaves for this new leave type. So I'm just selecting the leave types as new leave. Then we have an allocation type. So it is a regular or accrual. So if it is an accrual, run until how many days. If required, you can just provide. For example, if this only for this particular year, you can just provide an year. If not, you can just leave it blank. Then add 1 hour or day. So hour or days of every 1 week or 1 month or 1 year. So this will based on this one. Here I just want 2 leaves per month should be credited to this particular leave type for all employees. So I have selected 1 day of every 2 months. Sorry, 1 month. 2 days. 2 days for every 1 month. So normally the scheduler will be running and assigning 1 month 2 days of leave for every 1 month. So this can be assigned to particular company or employee or department or employee tax. So I'm just providing by company. So your company is by default selected because I have login as a company. I'm just providing save. Then the next process is the approval. So I'm just providing approve. So now whenever you go to a new time off, you can just find. So this employee is right now I haven't worked for any days, so I will change the new leave allocations. Allocations. I'm just providing this for a particular employee, just taking a duplicate of this one. I'm just providing employee Michael admin. New leave. So you can find one remaining out of 1 day. So this month, this is the date is 15th. So till 15th, 1 leave have been assigned. So while ending this month, you will be assigned 2 leaves. So you can find the details. So every month, likewise, you will be assigned 2 leaves. So first 15 days, once you completed first 15 days, it will be assigning 1 leave. Then again, the next 15 days completed, then it will be assigning an 1 leave. So total you will be getting a 2 leaves every month. So likewise we can manage multiple leave process here. Then we have a reportings here. So under reporting, you can just find all the details like employee leave taken and everything, what all the leaves taken in particular departments, etc. Then under settings, you can find the leave emails. So if you send a based on leave request, so this with a subject. So normally whenever an employee send an email via email request for a leave, it will be taking the details. So normally it should be have the subject should have a leave request. Then after that, the mail date, from date and to date should be provided. Then we have a employee shift management. So you can manage a different shift of an employee. Then we have a vacation management. So normally vacation management is handled in most of the outside countries, that is GCC and European countries. So if you're using, you can just activate the vacation management using this option. So these are the things available in the leave. So the next thing is we will be looking into the custody. So normally what all the custody what we have. So normally you can just assign a particular asset or anything related, or product, anything related to your company or your company asset to a particular employee. For example, we can take as a vehicles or a laptop or a system, etc., to track your company properties. So you can just create a new custody management from here, custody request. So the first process is the requesting and custody, that is a property or a product. So click on the new. Then you will be asked to select the employee. So normally the user will be selected here. So if your company doesn't, all the users, that employees of your company doesn't have access to the system, then the admin or the any other HR persons can create this one. So employee should be selected here. Then the property. So by default it will be showing what are the available properties here. So you have to create it in the property menu. So we will be discussing it later. So right now I'm just selecting the laptop. So for work, then requested date, then return date, when it should be returned. Then we can provide the notes here. So I have sent this request. So that this is right now in the draft state. I'm just sending for it for approval. So once it is sent for the approval, then the administrator or the HR person need to be approved. So I'm just selecting the approved. Then we have an option to send email. Then we have an option to renew. So the renew is used mainly once this return date is near, or if you want to renew this custody management, that is this product. For example, here I'm just want to change this date, that is renew. I'm just using the renew button. Once you click on that one, you will be asked for the renewal date. So then you can provide the renewal date and you can proceed. So renewal approval will be asked. So again, you can just approve it for. So under the chatter, you can find all the details here. So when it is requested for the next renewal, everything will be available in the chatter, available bottom of the form. Then we under the action, we have a delete option and duplicate. So normally once it is created or requested anything, we cannot then delete it. So if it is in draft state, you can just delete it. So you can find all the details here. If you want to download this view, you can just use this download button, that is export all button. Then we have a report. So custody analysis is available. So here by using this one, you can find all the details. So you can find the employee name, then the property name. So what are the properties available for this particular employee. So you can find one pieces are available with Michelle admin and Juliet one pieces, that is the laptop. So likewise, you can just find generate as your required report. Then we have a property menu. So under here you can just select a new property. So just I am selecting an scanner. So if it is an asset, you need to, if you have installed the asset module, you can it will be integrated with the asset module. If it is a product, you can just select an existing product. So I'm just selecting an or creating a new product, scanner. So I have mapped this scanner with the product which is available in the product master. So to use this asset module, you need to install the asset management. So this is the custody management. By using this custody management, you can manage your company asset or their products efficiently. So the next module what we are going to look is the utterance management. So normally if your user have the employee have the user, then you can just check in and check out through his employee portal, that is the user login. So you can just log in here and check in, and based on that one you can just check out. So then we have for managers and HR managers or utterance managers, we have a manager option, so where you can find all the details. So if you want to create an utterance for a particular employee, you can just select the employee from here. Then you can select the check-in time and check-out time. So by default, all the, I'm just selecting as 8, 9. The total work hours will be calculated here. So I have just entered a manual utterance for this, Anita Oliver. Likewise, you can just also view the employees from here. So normally the utterance manager will be having access to the employees, so you can just view it from here. And then we have a kiosk mode. So you can be using a bad scanner, a normal scanner, you can just use this option, or you can just identify manual, so you can just check in. Then we have a reporting. So reporting, as we seen in all reporting analysis, so we have a graph view and a pivot view. So in pivot view, you can just generate the total hours worked for an employee, etc. So you can just filter based on the check-in and check-out, check-in days. So check-in days, how many days, so what is this checkout, etc. So everything can be managed from here, that is generated from here. Then we have a configuration. So under configuration, you have an option to activate the employee pin. So you, based on the pin which we have provided in the employee, based on the pin which we have provided, the employee can mark the utterance in the kiosk mode. So these are the basic things which we have in the Open HRMS. So we will be concluding today's session here. So we will be looking the payroll resignation management, then payroll management, and the expenses by tomorrow the same time. So meanwhile, if you have any doubts or if you require any clarification, you can just send an email to odu@cybrosys.com. If not, info@openhrms.com. So we will be looking deeply about these payroll and how to create the payroll, generate the payslip for each employee and batch payslips, then the salary structure, then how to configure the leaves, that is the time of type, and how the salary should be computed based on that one. So these types of scenarios we'll be discussing by tomorrow. So before ending the session, let's see what all the record rules available for the employees and employee module and other modules. So go to the manage users. Michelle admin, edit. So you can find the employees 3 options, that is officer, administrator. So normally all the users who don't have access to this module will also have an access to view the employees list. So all the employees list will be shown for them. So officers will be having access to all the employee modules except the configuration menu. Administrator will have the officers options plus the configuration menu. Then we have a leave. So normally we have 2 options here, that is all approver and administrator. So all approver will have access to approve all the leaves applied by the employee. Then administrator will have the access to create a new leave types and everything. Then we have a contract. So normally in contract we will be having an administrator access only. Then we have an recruitment module. So recruitment also we have recruitment officer, then recruitment administrator. So normally the recruitment officer will have access to the job application, create a new job positions, they create a new candidate, that is applicants, then report analysis. So administrator will be having access to the configuration and creating and editing the job application plus assigning that to the employee. So these are the basic things what are available in human resource. So we will be winding up today's sessions here. So if you have any doubts or require any clarification, please send us a mail in odo@cybrosys.com, odoo@cybrosys.com, cybrosys.com. So thanks for attending today's session. We'll see you tomorrow at the same time, and we will be discussing about the payroll and other modules.